Well, hello, folks. How are we? Saturday, Saturday evening, a little bit later than I expected, because I was doing stuff. I don't know what I was doing. Got my nice sweatshirt. Oh, it's got some little stains. I'm making a curry. It's got some stains on it there. So yeah, so a little bit behind the eight ball, but that's all right. Hear the winds. Probably best to close the window. Yeah, that's a bit more sensible. I was getting a bit of fresh air there, but that's not a good idea for this. Yeah, so things are still not resolved on Facebook for me, so I don't know what's happening. So try not to send me any messages on Facebook. If you do need to get in touch with me or requests, just send them to info@jjgilmore.com. Yeah, so I spent a little bit of time. I got some money swiped from my account yesterday, which I know some of you know about. It's not the end of the world. I think it's going to be taken care of. Hopefully, with the fraud squad are going to get onto them. But manualhelp.com or manualshelp.com, I put a link onto it. We'll get onto trading standards and get the bastards closed down. Total con men, just con men, con women, con whatever they are, con bastards. Yeah, just digging into stuff, and so don't ever get caught out looking for a manual by these fuckers. Sorry for my bad language, I'm still really annoyed about it. But I spoke to the bank earlier, so it's all good. So we don't have a great deal of requests. There have been one or two come in, and I must apologise. I haven't been exactly on it today for obvious reasons. So we've got one or two. I better put that down while I remember, in case I forget. And thank you again. I'm very kindly going to Ayr tomorrow to pick up a wee girl's bike, which was very kind of our friend Jamie there, got us a bike. Yeah, so brilliant. Thank you very, very much. Just the generosity is brilliant. I've got another two to pick up. Yeah, so it's all good. I've been tasting that curry, it's amazing. I made a chicken and cauliflower curry, it's mega. Wunderbar. So I'm going to do a wee reverse role here tonight. I'm going to play songs that weren't written on piano, and songs that weren't written on guitar. How's that? So let's start off with this wee guy. My dear friend, who I grew up with back in the old days in Coatbridge, Janice Mitchell asked me to do this song. So here goes nothing, Janice. Thought of it, it's clear to me. Remembering in honesty. Do you recall? Televised your photograph, 'cause there's a mirror ball for you tonight. The crowd arrived, so put out the lights. The leader's on. No, you know you can. I hope you know we understand. I don't need medication to feel the way I wanted to. If only my generation could stay Well, if everyone could see you now, the funny side you seen in life, 'cause they don't write it down inside their heads, but do the best to recollect. 'Cause I don't need medication to feel the way I wanted to. If only my generation could stick together like me and you. Super glue, me and you. If you're looking for love, don't count me out. You see, I don't want to be left out. Yeah, that one. If you're looking for love, don't count me out. If everyone could see you now, the funny side you seen in life, 'cause I don't need medication to feel the way I wanted to. If only my generation could stick together like me and you. No, I don't need medication to feel the way I wanted to. If only my generation could stick together like me and you. Like super glue, me and you. The things we do, oh Paul. Yeah, I wasn't expecting the middle eight. Didn't rehearse that, did you, Gilmore? Yeah, so I've got to tell you, actually, last night I was kind of coming here, it was quite dark, and I looked over to where I've showed you before, sorry. And the fox brought its two little cubs out. It was amazing. It was like watching a nature show, and I rushed out the door and I stood at the old rickety wall there, it's fallen down, and watched these two little fox cubs play with one another and push one another down the slope and get back up. And then Mum came back and she called them over as if they were going to hang out together and find some stuff, and she gets disturbed with sometimes with the pricks on the bridge. Sometimes nice people, lots of nice people cross that bridge, but there are quite a few pricks cross it, and so she gets disturbed with those, and she sort of protects her wee cubs. I think that's what you call baby foxes, cubs, I think so. And so it was really lovely, but it was just getting dark, so they obviously know that there's they've got the protection of the darkness coming out. But it was really lovely. It was like your own nature show happening right in front of you, and you only had to step out of your back door. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Oops, that wasn't very good. So yeah, just carrying on from where we were in our little scrapbook. Let's just see where else we can go. Actually, there was one review I wanted to read to you from this. I'll try and find it. So anyway, this goes on. We finished off there, I think, and then so out and about. Something with the Silencers, Scotland's month, out and about. On the pop front, the Silencers are playing at Edinburgh Queen's Hall on Tuesday, Aberdeen Ritz on Wednesday, Stirling Albert Hall on Friday, and Motherwell Civic Centre on Saturday. And there's a picture of Jimmy Somerville. Maybe he was playing. Wow, here's a write-up from Paul Coyer. Oh man, in 1991, Paul Coyer. Where are you now, Paul? Top pop band The Silencers made a lot of noise when they dropped into a Glasgow record store recently. And Natalie Duffy, 18, from Croftfoot, was left speechless as she met her local heroes. And as a bonus, the lucky Natalie managed to get hold of the Glasgow band's new album, Dance to the Holy Man. Doesn't say she was given it. The Silencers are seen as one of Scotland's top bands. Are also playing live in Glasgow at the Barrowlands on April the 19th. The concert will be the big final to their current Scottish tour, and you can bet that one of the faces in front of the crowd will be Lucky Natalie, pictured by Bill Fleming. And there's some concerts there in Prue, Dia Concert. I don't know where that is. Prue, Preu. Maybe someday. Pesetas, it's in Spain. And there's a little Silencers, Queen's Hall, Aberdeen, Albert Hall, Kirkcaldy, Motherwell Civic Centre, and the Glasgow Barrowlands. There's a couple of wee pictures there. There's the Jimmy Somerville one. Whatever's going on there. There's the Silencers, looking a bit dishevelled. There's Natalie meeting her heroes. God help the poor lassie. Chaz missing, but he's probably in London. The Silencers there. That was from one of the albums, I think. And yeah, the little Scottish tour there. And so there's a couple of little things there. Let's just quickly pop over to the next page, see what's happening. Okay, I'll read you. I won't read you too. Oh wow, there's a cool thing. A tour of Germany. Now I remember this tour in Germany because we weren't that big, and we played in a record store in Hamburg. Pardon me, and it was. I remember the record stores were called World of Music, and we so you always go into record stores and sort of perform in them. Just like you did in HMV in Glasgow and Virgin in London and all these sort of things. Well, of course, our success was predominantly in Europe, so we would do these record stores in Europe. But I remember going to this specific record shop, and very much like a scene from Spinal Tap. And if you haven't watched Spinal Tap, you must watch it. I don't know if you can find it on YouTube, or you should buy it. It's the best film ever. Anyway, we were in this record shop, very much like a scene from Spinal Tap. No one was there. Nobody. We weren't really that big in Germany, and we were sort of trying to make an impact on it. So here tells you, we played. I'll show you the thing. Das Album, Dance to the Holy Man. Let's try to speak German and English with a German accent. So there is the tour. That's where we were going. So that's where we were going to in Germany and stuff. Hamburg, Belfield, Cologne, of course, Cologne, Bremen, Munich, and Frankfurt, and those were all within. Actually, the Frankfurt date is like 14 days, 13 days after the Munich date. So we must have gone and came back again, gone to another country and then came back again. So we showed up in this record shop, and there was nobody there, you know. So of course we were getting all the, you know, the stroppy. I'm in a band, don't you know? Where's the fans, you know? Ideas above your station, and almost refusing to play. There was nobody in there, and we were collectively as a unit getting up our own arses. And the guy in the record shop was raging, you know. He just said, you know, you must play. And we were like, no, we're not playing. And we were giving it the big ego and stuff. So he says, you know, but someone's came here to see you. And he brought this guy out in a wheelchair. And he sort of strategically placed him. And he said, this guy's came to see you. And I always remember that day very well because the guy had a Bon Jovi t-shirt on. And I thought, God, I hope people that like Bon Jovi don't like us. You know, I never ever liked Bon Jovi, and I thought they just didn't do it for me. It was a different kind of music. It didn't send my heart anywhere. But we played for this guy, and I always remember we got our pictures taken with him and sort of crowded round the guy and did what we should have done in the first place. We should have played. But as I say, we let our egos get in the way of that. But that was that part of that tour. And the tour manager, I always remember the touring company was Marek Lieberberg, and he was the big man in Germany at the time. So yeah, so on this, I'll read you. These are more local things. Oh no, this one isn't local. This one is in the Silencers, Dance to the Holy Man. Cosmopolita te invita a la fiesta con los compañeros de la banda martes 11 a la finalizar el concierto. What a terrible attempt at Spanish, Italian. I don't even know what that is. I can't tell you what it is. Martes 11 Banda de la banda. Maybe somebody who can speak Spanish or Italian would know what that is. Yeah, so yeah, I think these ones are more like Scottish. There's a concert there in Correggio, Ari Palasport 7 Maggio. I don't know if that's Spanish or Italiano. And then there's another gig there in Radio 4th RFM live on tour at the Carlton Studios Access All area on the 8th of October 1991. Let me read this. I'll read this out because I spoke about this not long ago in my songwriting. So it says, when the Silencers release their new album tomorrow, you'll find on the sleeve notes a thank you to Rocky Prince for appearing on one track. Sounds like a 60s pop singer with huge sideburns and a flowery shirt, right? Wrong. Singer Jimmy O'Neill laughs. He's a Coatbridge cab driver who let us record his taxi engine running for one track. It's his real name too. I've already said in this column how good the album is, and as Jimmy and the rest of the band chatted to me in their rehearsal room, I realised just why they're so prolific. Phones rang non-stop and people wandered in and out because the Silencers just love being busy. When you're not touring or recording, we go out busking in the streets. That's how much we enjoy our music. Agreeing wholeheartedly, this was new recruit Tony Suave, who met the band overseas. I'd gone to Canada and was in another band when I noticed the Silencers were in town, and I just walked up to Jimmy and said, "Hi, I'm from Coatbridge." We got on really well and had great fun. It was my dream come true to be asked to join the band, just like Jim'll Fix It. Oh, that should be Jimmy'll Fix It. Oh, fucking hell. I'm glad they got the names mixed up there because that'll now forever be Tony Suave's story. When in actual fact it was my story, but they got the names mixed up. Thank God for that. Sorry, Tony. So yeah, there's another couple of stories. There's one here, I'll just read you by David Hamilton. Buried deep in the sleeve notes of the Silencers' new album, The Holy Man, is thank you to a most unlikely session musician of the year. Oh, it's the same story, kind of. Yeah, it's the same story. Phoned up in taxi firm, blah, blah, blah. Okay. After a few minutes, it says the next day, Jimmy phoned the taxi firm and asked them to send a cab to the studio. We rigged up 2 microphones, one in the back and another one in the engine block. Rocky was totally unfazed and really cool. He just walked around the studio. After a few minutes, we got what we needed on tape, and I asked what we owed him. He said, "There's £1 on my meter, son. That'll do." It's the cheapest effect I've ever used in a studio. The numbers about a guy who's tired of city life. He goes to Central Park, builds an island, stockade, and becomes Robinson Crusoe. The song with drummer Tony Suave playing a fire extinguisher, convector heater, and a tea tray is the most unusual of the 15 tracks on the band's third RCA album. From the raucous Bulletproof Heart to the anthemic 1 Inch of Heaven, the Celtic rock-led fusion of folk, Cajun, country, and blues oozes class, and it entered the UK album charts at number 39 within a week of its release last month. The multi-talented O'Neill wrote the bulk of the songs, and the album cover displays his painting, The Holy Man, recently exhibited at the La Locomotive Club in Paris. The Silencers were formed in 1986 by 4 Scottish expats in London, where O'Neill had gone to study architecture and ended up busking. But that was short-lived, as he got into the Fingerprints, who signed to Virgin for 3 albums. He formed the Silencers and brought the band home to Coatbridge with his wife Sadie and their 3 children. Then the band began to make its name. A tour of America and support dates in Europe with U2 and David Bowie was followed by a 1989 European tour with Simple Minds. "We still bust on our days off," says Jimmy. "We were in the Hilton in Mainz, West Germany, after playing a stadium with the Minds, and the bar prices were horrendous. There was a street carnival on, so we set up a busking pitch 100 yards along the road and raised enough money for a few beers. I love busking. It gets you back to the roots." The Silencers are O'Neill on vocals and guitar, with co-founder Chad Burns on lead guitar, Davy Crichton on violin and piano, Lewis Rankin on bass, Tony Suave on drums, and James Jinky Gilmore on guitar and backing vocals. They are rehearsing for a new Scottish tour sponsored by Tenants Live. Oh, there's the Largs train. Yes, enjoy Glasgow, my good friends, and be careful, there's a fox runs around. Oh, it's all been sprayed, that train. Fantastic. Somebody's graffitied it. Don't see that. That's a kind of New York thing. Watch the fox. Don't run over my wee fox. It kicks off on Thursday in Aviemore Osprey Rooms. I remember that. And takes in Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Stirling, Kirkcaldy, Motherwell, and Glasgow Barrowlands. So there we go. There's a few wee doodads there. Yeah, I'll go on to the other page tomorrow. Or tomorrow I'm going to have a day off. It's Sunday tomorrow. Let's do this wee song for you, ladies and jelly spoons. I can't wait to see if the wee fox and his cubs come out tonight. That'll be lovely. I'll try and film them if they do. If every star fell from the sky to show the love I haven't sighed, if every leaf on every tree came tumbling down for you and me, and everybody else could see my love, if every dream we dream came true, I'd fall asleep and dream of you. I want to dream my life away with you. But every time I hear that bell, every chime, no matter where I roam, no. Every sight there is, and every sound of Glasgow Town, my home. chance I'd start and end with our romance. There's nothing more I want from life than you. As I walk down the river's edge, remembering the things you said, the thoughts keep running through my head. You, but every time I hear that bell, every chime, no matter where I roam, every sight there is and every sound of Glasgow Town, my home. If every star fell from the sky to show the love I have inside, and everybody else could see my love. Oh, everybody else could see my love. Glasgow Town. Seagulls like it. Seagulls are singing along. Yeah. So, well, I remember, I'm still wanting more bikes. If anybody's got bikes out there, got that beautiful new bike. Thank you very much. That I'm going to deliver tomorrow. I would have done it today, but it was horrendous, absolutely horrendous, and the wee girl isn't around until tomorrow, so that we will do that tomorrow. I'm just going to read you. I haven't read this today, actually. I opened the page to read it, and then I thought, why not read it when we're live? So it's called The Present, and it's by Billy Collins from this lovely poetry pharmacy book that the very kindly Joe Donnelly got me. So it says, much has been said about being in the present. It's the place to be, according to the gurus, like the latest club on the downtown scene, but no one, it seems, is able to give you directions. It doesn't seem desirable or even possible to wake up every morning and begin leaping from one second into the next until you fall exhausted back into bed. Plus, there'd be no past with so many scenes to savour and regret, and no future, the place you will die but not before flying around with a jetpack. The trouble with the present is that it's always in a state of vanishing. Take the second it takes to end this sentence with a period already gone. What about the moment that exists between banging your thumb with a hammer and realising you're in a whole lot of pain? Question mark. That's good, I like that. What about the one that occurs after you hear the punchline but before you get the joke? Is that where the wise men want us to live? In the intervening tick, the tiny slot that occurs after you have spent hours searching downtown for that new club and just before you give up and head back home. There we go. He's obviously an American. You can tell by the spellings of certain words. I noticed a couple of words that were spelt. Anyway, the condition is for guilt at not living in the moment. It's also suitable for feelings of inadequacy, self-recrimination, stress and worrying. I like Billy Collins' poem, The Present, because it skewers something not all that different to the advice I often give in my poetry pharmacy and have given elsewhere in this book. See Failure to Live in the Moment, page 48-49. That's no use to you, is it, at this point? It finds a very amusing way of saying something quite important, that the po-faced seriousness of our modern obsession with health and emotional balance is not the only way to live. We can be happy without making an effort to live in the moment or be mindful or do any of those things we all feel a buzz of guilt about ignoring. Of course, we could all benefit from living in the moment more than we do, but it is also true that to treat the present as anything more than a second home, however frequently visited, would be a catastrophe. As with anything else in the world, living in the moment is only useful in moderation. What's more, allowing ourselves to get caught up in the cultural panic about how we should live, how we should think, and how often and how deeply we should breathe can lead to more misery than well-practiced mindfulness could ever solve. If living in the moment doesn't suit you, if it doesn't make sense for you, don't do it. Don't feel obliged to change your interior life to suit the faddish dictates of the self-help industry. Although there is a real value in living in the moment, there is also real value in living how you want to live and accepting the parts of yourself you can't change. If you're a fretter or a daydreamer or a reminiscer, celebrate it. Be yourself. That's the best advice any guru can give you. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I really enjoyed that. The Poetry Pharmacy by William Sieghart. What a wonderful wee book. So, today's competition question is, I think you know the answer to this one, I think. Maybe not. Let me think about that for a minute. Ain't nobody heard Cecilia. She just cried that day. She knew if she could, it would make her feel good and take her blues away. And somebody said they saw her, but she turned away. What's the message today? What's the message today? Well, I heard that she cried an ocean. She drew a smile. She followed a star from the back of a car going at 90 miles. She knew not where she was going nowhere fast. It's a pretty good day when it happens that way. You let the world go past. You wanna get high on emotion, wanna dive down, deep down, swim around the deep blue sea. And if you get by on devotion, what's the message today? And nobody knew Cecilia. She had her own little ways. They all said she was gone, but she proved them all wrong. And I remember that day. And somewhere in the silver lining, I guess she found that star. As she drew it apart, it was breaking her heart to make a brand new start. You wanna get high on emotion. You wanna dive down, deep down, swim around the deep blue sea. And if you get by on devotion, what's the message today? she knew if she could, it would make her feel good and take her blues away. And somebody said they saw her, oh, but she turned away. What's a message today? What's a message today? What's a message today? What's a message today? Could never know how to find I missed the chords. I missed the chords for the middle eight. Couldn't find the chords for the middle eight, so I just left it. Apologies. So yeah, I was going to ask you that question, but I don't think you'll know it. So today's question is, who designed the cover for my first album, Sunnyside Pal? Who was the artist who did my first album, Sunnyside Pal? And it's there. You can find it. It's there. It's in both the old and the new and all that sort of stuff, me old mates. So keep well. I want to give my very best on this podcast. I'm going to finish on this little vlog with giving my very best to Phil Newell and Angie, his wife, and all the staff at the Portpatrick Hotel, who were fantastic. When I first started my little jinky gatherings, they started up in Skye many years ago, and I did it in a hotel in Portree in Skye, and I loved it. And then we kind of lost the hotel, which was a real shame, and we ended up I ended up just calling it quits. I thought, that's it, we can't have any more jinky gatherings, we can't have any more gatherings of people and all getting together. And then Phil Newell approached me and said, listen, I manage this hotel down in Portpatrick, and we had it there for about 7 years, and it was absolutely fantastic. Every year was just somebody different. We had Blue Rose Code and James Grant, and oh, here he goes, get the brush out, here we go, get my brush. But anyway, there was many good acts, and also lots of young acts, Josh Fraser and Sean Kennedy, and oh yeah, there was many. Joe Gallagher came down and did his thing. The Scary Board guys came down, Alan and Alec. Those guys came down. It was lovely. It was a great place. And sadly, they're part of the Shearings group that went into liquidation. So my heart goes out to all of you. Thank you for making all those years special, not only for me, for everybody. And I wish you well, you and all the staff, Phil, and hope that you go on to good fortunes and a fruitful new career. I know how difficult that can be. We're not getting any younger, so my very, very best to all of you, and thank you. That, I guess, about leaves it. And remember, if you can donate to the food bank in your area or the food bank here in Ayrshire, then please do so. And if you want any handwritten lyrics, which is my only thing that I plug on this, you're more than welcome. Just write to me at jjgilmore@gmail.com. And look after yourself, Susie. Keep the fight going. Jim, I know you're doing well. Say hello to my cousin Jim down in England. He asked me to sing a hymn, but I don't really know it, Jim. Anyway, I'll sing you one of my songs. But for the moment, take care. I think that's all we need to say for tonight. I'll see you all on Monday. Enjoy your Sunday. Toodaloo.